Ready to go. Welcome to Healthy Conversations this morning. Happy to be back with all of you on Healthy Conversations. I do this live every week on Thursdays at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. A couple of housekeeping and announcements. We are going to do another Healthy for the Holidays series. For those of you who have been with me for a while, for the last few years, it started off as kind of a whim. Actually I think it was over COVID, it was sort of people were really needing help and support. And I just went live almost every day through the holiday season, just giving you little tidbits of support, like 5 minutes long. And you all loved it and have asked for it every year. So I have done it every year. This year, we're bigger and better. So I will start talking about what that's going to look like, when we're going to start, how you can be a part of it for Healthy for the Holidays. And that starts in a few weeks, right after Halloween. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll let you know all the details about that. But for those of you who have already asked, yes, we are doing it again. And we are in the first week of the shift this week. You guys have heard me talk about the shift the last few weeks. And so today's Healthy Conversation, I really want to dive into a topic that I'm going to be talking about with my shift members, actually on our coaching call today. And this is the question of where you rank on your list of priorities. And as I talk about this topic, sometimes it can seem so kind of Pollyanna or like a platitude, like I need to put myself first, kind of thing. And people brush it off and kind of, people will come up with all kinds of excuses, by the way, why they can't put themselves first. And so first of all, I want to say that this topic of putting yourself first goes well beyond your success with diet and exercise. This topic of where you rank in your list of priorities is indicative of your outcomes in any area of your life. And let me explain. And it's one of the things that I'm going to require of all of the shift participants in the shift group. And I'm going to go into it a whole lot today, but I thought I'd give you all just a little taste of this, is that you've heard me say ad nauseum, one of the biggest issues with people who are trying to be successful with weight loss is that they keep trying to change their behavior. If I just change my diet, if I just, commit to the gym, if I just whatever, then it's going to, then everything is going to change for me. I'll be successful. And they stay in this yo-yo cycle over and over and over again, because they're going in to address the problem at the wrong level, right? The real problem is a few layers beneath that. It's a topic for a different day. We've been talking about that the last few weeks. But one of the guiding principles, one of the overarching things that I see overwhelmingly with people who struggle with their weight is that they fall too low on their list of priorities. And when that happens, then they are unable to consistently execute the behaviors that are necessary to get to where they want to go. Right. And so extrapolate that out into any area of your life. If you are not at the very top of your list of priorities, and I'm not going to stereotype this here, but I will tell you that anecdotally, and after working with thousands of people over the years, I can tell you that women are the, sort of the biggest offenders of putting themselves too far on their list, too far down on the list. And therefore they struggle to be consistent with any of the behaviors. And so I'm going to start this conversation with, where do you fall on your list of priorities? If you were to ask me, where do I fall on my list of priorities? Top of the list every single day, every single time, every day. If you were to ask my daughter, where does your mom fall on her list of priorities? She would say, top of the list, every single day, every single time. Now, let me tell you why. If you were to ask my daughter, where does she fall on her list of priorities? she would say, top of the list every single day, every single time. She knows that I am the most important person in my life. She also claims that she is the most important person in her life. And that's what I want for her. Right. So I can't hope for that for her without believing it, living it, and modeling it for me. Now, if this is hitting a nerve and you're starting to go, that's selfish, or what about other people, or what about your partner, or what about your daughter, or what about your, okay, know that that little glimmer of frustration with me right now is an opportunity for you to really absorb what I'm about to talk about, and an opportunity, an invitation to look in and go, huh, interesting. I think this might be happening for me. Because if it's bothering you, it's probably in you. Okay. So now, why am I at the top of my priority list? Everybody else falls below me in my priority list. And I mean that, and I live that. And my daughter lives that, and my husband lives that. He is at the top of his priority list, and I want him there. Right. Here's why. I am the best mother, practitioner, clinician, partner, spouse, business owner, leader, right? All these things all these roles that I play in my life, I am the best at each of them when I put myself first, meaning I put my needs first, I put my nervous system first, I put my emotional, physical, mental, all those well-being, I put that first. And when I show up as the best version of myself, everybody else benefits. When I don't put myself first, I am not the best version of myself. I'm not the best communicator. I'm not the best clinician. I'm not the best mother. I don't have the best patience. I don't have the best mental health when I don't put myself first. And then when I show up like that, everybody else around me suffers. My husband doesn't get my good communication skills. My daughter doesn't get my patience and ability to see her in the way that I see her. My clients don't get my best work and my best connection with them to be able to serve them in the best possible way. My group doesn't get the best of me and my 20 years of experience and the things that I know, right? My body doesn't get the best fuel. Nobody gets the best when I am not the best and I don't put myself first. And then all of those people suffer because I'm suffering. So I would go as far as to say it is selfish to all of them that I don't put myself first, because they suffer from me not being the best version of myself. And once you get that and experience that and feel that, then it no longer becomes, well, I have to do this because that person needs it. And I have to do this because my kid needs it. And I have to do this because my husband needs it. And I have to do this, but no, because all of those people are suffering if you are suffering. Think about it. When you have had an overwhelming day and you're at your wit's end, right? And you're just giving of yourself to everybody else because you're a martyr and that's what you're supposed to do as a mom, right? Then are you patient? And are you listening? And are you connecting with them? And are you communicating well? And are you angry inside and projecting onto them? Right? Like, what is the version of you that people get when you are not filled up? Right? And so this tendency that we have to believe that it is noble to take care of everybody else before ourselves is actually working against us. And so rather than continue on that soapbox, I will say to you, if you want to be successful in your weight loss journey, it is going to be directly correlated to your ability to move yourself to the top of the priority list. Even if that means that other people are forced to either not get your time change things in their lives, have to say no to other things so that you can say yes to yourself, even if that means that other people don't get what they want, so that you can be the best version of yourself. I promise you that the end result of that is that you show up differently for them, which then benefits them. So let me give you an example. I had a client earlier this year who her entire role identity was based around making sure that all of her kids got to all of the places and all of the meals got cooked and everybody got what they wanted to eat and her partner got supported in all of the ways. And when I asked her, and she came in because she was really struggling with weight and not feeling good about herself and exhaustion and don't feel good about my body and I'm gaining weight and I'm tired and my joints hurt and my mental health is declining and like nothing about me feels good, but everyone else be taken care of, right? And I asked her, okay, I hear you want to do these things for your health and well-being. When are you going to make time to go for a walk? Oh, I don't have time to do that because I have to do it. Okay. What about the time you need to burn off some steam, get some exercise? Oh, I don't have time to do that because of it. Okay. What about being able to prep the meals for you make these beautiful lunches for your kids and these, beautiful dinners for you. What about time for yourself to prep your meals to make sure that you're eating well? Oh, I don't have time to do that. Okay. It's really, really clear who is suffering, right? But at the same time, so is her partner and her kids. Why? Because she doesn't feel well. She doesn't have the energy to show up and play with her kids the way they want her to play with them. She doesn't feel connected to her husband because she feels terrible in her body and doesn't want him to see her, so she hides. Her patience and confidence has declined, and so she's snappy and short and just trying to hang on for dear life. And throughout our work together, we were able to transform this to help her understand that what her kids really want from her is that connection, for her to be able to slow down and see them, for her to have the patience and capacity and flexibility in her nervous system to communicate with them fluidly, right? With patience and love. What her husband really wants from her is their connection, to be able to connect, for her to, feel confident and smile and show up with him, right? So the things that she thought she was doing for them, oh, I couldn't possibly because everybody needs this from me, is actually hurting them in the long run and robbing them of the ability to spend the time that they actually want with her, connecting in her highest and best self, right? So I will ask you again, where do you fall on your list of priorities? And if it's not at the top, or at least real, real close, I will argue, I will always argue it should be at the very, very tip top. If it's not at the top, then here's your invitation to start thinking about how to move your way up and the impact that it might be having on the people around you inadvertently. All right, all. I will see you next Thursday for more healthy conversations.